I shot the sheriff. Straight killing cops. Not talking about killing niggas in the street, not talking about killing drug dealers, not talking about killing black men, straight killing cops. Whenever they do some craziness like that, I play that shit 10 times in a row. Don't let them do nothing to you, man, that they ain't supposed to do. Die first. You know, I had an incident with the police one time out here in Brooklyn. It was crazy. It's in my first book, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. Okay, so we go to chapter 5, and we talk about, in chapter 5, I want to cover two people, and it might not relate to hip-hop directly, but then again it does. I'm talking about Bernie Mac, and I'm talking about Isaac Hayes, who died the same weekend. And nobody really was mentioning that. Isaac Hayes died because he was a Scientologist, and the guys that made South Park, where he was getting his bread buttered from, used to always go in on a Scientology religion. So they told him he needed to retire. He said, I can't because I'm making my money here. So they poisoned him, and when he got found on that conveyor, the treadmill, thank you, Tisha. When he was on the treadmill, the lady that cleaned his house or whatever said this man could barely move. There's no way he could have got out that bed and went to the treadmill. They killed him. They killed him because he refused until, and then a spokesperson, his handler, I'm sorry, I haven't mentioned that word yet. A handler is somebody who tells you basically what to do, and is that person that can make you, you know, yo, I'm about to. Wow. That's that person, it's a handler. Now, it's not always necessarily they doing it that way, but they know what to tell you and how to make your buttons get pushed, because some of the rituals include homosexuality. So if they got a tape of you and you don't want to listen, hey buddy, I got this. There was another guy, I love him, I forget his name right now, Mark Curry. He used to be down with Bad Boy. He exposed Diddy in his book about 5-6 years ago. The book is gangster. This is crazy. They're having sex with kids. There was Foxy Brown has been saying for years, she's broke now, she's been saying for years that she had sex with Jay-Z when she was 14. And that he was banging a tranny. And the tranny was calling her jealous because he was spending more time with her. That's what she said. I ain't saying it's true. I'm telling you what's out there. And this is a long time ago. And then she recently came out with these accusations again. I guess because she want money and she trying to make him hear it. You know, these guys got to do these things, man. And then Bernie Mac. I think the reason why Bernie Mac died is right before he died, he did a inauguration reception of some sort. He's from Chicago too, for Obama. And he was going in on Obama, doing his Bernie Mac stuff, you know, when he stand up, not this TV show Bernie Mac. You know, so he doing him, he doing what he do. So after that, the Obama spokesman came to him and was like, yo, you kind of went in on him. Like, he's like, yo, that's what I do. He got sick a few days later. They can put something in your food, your favorite restaurant, or you know, somebody go at you and you aim it right at you, you walk right into it, you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Various ways. And he went to the hospital with some complication he had, but it wasn't nothing that was going to kill him right away. And he never left the hospital. Never left the hospital. Y'all let Steve Coakley die the same way. Somebody had to go get him out of a coma. Wake him up and get him out and dress him and just take him out. That's how we got to do that. Steve Coakley. Steve Coakley was the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing right now. He was a researcher, bar none. He'd talk about anybody. He'll talk about Alton right here if he need to and say stuff. He done expose people in their place. So, you know, Boule members and all of that. I don't care if y'all Boule. I'll talk about everybody too. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to talk about some people in a minute. Okay, so now, this, like I said, you know, I talk about the periphery in chapter 5. The name of that, by the way, chapter is bigger than hip hop. And like I said earlier, I want to talk a little bit about other people outside of the rap game. Because like I said, athletes are also included in this equation as well. And I started off by telling y'all that Sharpton, Jackson, and all that, they all Boule members. You know what I'm saying? Jay-Z and the moguls in the music industry are too, and I believe some are fighting them. But we're going to go in on two athletes that I covered in my book. And the first one is Kobe Bryant. That rape charge he caught in Utah was a ritual. He didn't rape that girl. The way I know he got in was when he used to run down court, maybe about 7 or 8 years ago, with his hands upside down in a six. By the way, these symbolisms all mean something. I know most of us grew up thinking this was A-OK, but it really means six, and the 3 represents the 3 sixes. You know, this, y'all know what this is. That's the Baphomet, go to Mendy's, whatever you want to call that. There are a few others that you got your hand in your jacket a certain way under the lapel. 1 or 2 others, and I'm sure if you're high in the Masonic orders, that is even more rituals that we probably won't get to know because it's so few people know them. But they signify you, and you know. On my Facebook page, and I wish I had my computer to show y'all, but you know it didn't happen that way. But on my Facebook page, Sharpton is in a rally. I don't know where it is because it's just like a distant shot focused on him with the triangle. I think I posted that yesterday. So, you know, that means he's part of the bull too. So, you know, again, they talk to each other this way. It might not mean nothing to you, but that's how they talk to each other. So you know who's who when you go somewhere, and you know to not say certain things around other people that ain't doing the same thing. So that's why sometimes y'all walk in a room and you creeped out. You know, it's a room full of homosexuals and pedophiles. Real talk. What you think these hazing incidences in school are? People die in hazing incidences, and they never stop. You know, I don't think that those police meant to kill Eric Garner, but we don't even need to talk about them killing him because the chokehold was illegal. So right away, negligent homicide should be the least he gets. The least. I ain't saying that should be the charge. Negligent homicide. He ain't even get indicted yet. This man's been out of jail for over a week, or about a week now. What's going on? How do you not? Wait, hold on. Let me get your real opinion on it. I'm asking y'all this question now. How are police killing kids and their names ain't even being released? You a public servant. You a public servant. You serving your duties if you've been called by the legal system because of some child dying. How is it that there's no investigation where you can talk? You have to talk. In New York, it's 48 hours. And they can stretch that for weeks if they want to. When you put somebody like Ramsey Orta in prison, in jail. He wasn't in prison, he was in jail. Yeah. So it's real out here, and you know that this is crazy. But okay, so then I go into a little of the athletes. We know LeBron James is in. You know, if you a household name, you're in. If you know the name, and you don't have to. Is he a football player or is he an actor? Or, you know, he's in. He's in. Okay. So I talk about Kobe. I talk about LeBron James. I believe. I forget his name right now. The point guard for the Clippers is in, and maybe a few other people. When you see them, Chris Paul, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Okay, so we talked about a little bit about athletes. Michael Strahan is in, and you know when you see people like that. Yes, thank you, sir. His ritual, Michael Strahan's ritual, was when his white wife divorced him and took most of his money. That's how you pay the tax. And if you're not playing ball with them and you're in, they're going to get you 3 ways. They're going to probably find you smoking weed in your car and then you got a gun. They're going to get you through the IRS or just like let you flounder and not work. What's that, sir? Oh yeah, the white wife. Yeah, that's why I mentioned it in this context. The white wife is always the linchpin. what's his name? Terrence Howard is supposedly broke because he was married to his wife for like 1.5 years or 2 years or something. And she took him to, but I believe, this is belief now, I don't think this is, I can't say this factually. I believe most of those people are controlled and made to marry the people that they're marrying. So Jay-Z and Beyonce. I don't like people being upset with Kanye West because Kanye West had an existence before his mother passed. That totally changed after she passed.
Right.
President Bush said when he got interviewed on the Good Morning America that the worst part of his 8 years in presidency was when Kanye West called him a racist. That's what he said. 9/11, Katrina, and all that other shit. And some black dude from the hood that makes music is your biggest problem? Thousands died in both of those situations. Thousands. Hundreds of thousands possibly. And he said one guy calling him a racist was the worst part of his 8 years as a president. In my book, I don't even call them presidents. I put the P in parentheses and put resident. Yeah, because they're not presidents. They're presidents of the Pentagon, they're prime ministers of Fleet Street, and the Pope in the Vatican. They control you 3 ways: through spirituality or religion, through the financial system, which is in London, and right here in the Pentagon through the military.
What's happening with Vanessa?
What's that, ma'am? Vanessa Williams, right? She was she owed IRS almost $400,000. So a lot of people that you see going through this, they may not be doing something loud, but I've had money in my life before. When it seems like whenever you have money legally, they can somehow take it from you. I ain't talking about, you all of a sudden drop 25 G's in a bank account that you ain't got no job and no legal source of getting this kind of money. Where the hell he get that at? Okay, we're going to take our chunk. So if you got money like that, put it under your mattress. And don't let nobody in your house. That's all. It's that simple. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little, like I said a little while ago. The comedians, I love Aaron McGruder and the Boondocks because he could make a message and it's like it totally went over your head. Some of his episodes I've watched 4 or 5 times and I'm like, oh shit, this is what he was really talking about. And the sister did say earlier that the show isn't as good as it was, and I agree, but it always has a moral to it. I know, he's doing Black Jesus, and I've never watched it yet, and I'm sure it's too much parody for me. I like, sophisticated comedy. But yes, but the comedians this is why Cat Williams was getting arrested every week. It seemed like 3 years ago. This is why Dave Chappelle went overseas. This is why Martin was running down the street saying they trying to kill me. Y'all remember that? He had a rubber suit in LA. It was about 100 degrees that day. And then he went to the hospital, and what was the diagnosis? Exhaustion. That's like you work 2 days straight, like a slave. Work, nigga. He jogging down the street in a rubber suit in 100-degree weather in LA in the summer. Waving a gun. He said they trying to kill me. Who? When Dave Chappelle asked him that question, he said, man, how you feel? He said, this is the best sleep I ever got. He was in the hospital. Him and Dave Chappelle, remember Dave Chappelle grew up in the DC area too. He knew him from a long time ago, way before that. Dave Chappelle was on the come up. Martin already had the show and the movies was popping and all of that. So he already knew him. They weren't strangers to each other. Matter of fact, Dave Chappelle considers Martin probably one of his biggest influences. So just know this, that we all connected in this thing. Listen, I know a lot of people in the music industry because I'm from the Bronx when the Bronx was the creator of hip-hop and the best shit was coming out from there. And I know a lot of people. And a lot of them people ain't who you think they are. Because the conscious rappers is in this too.
Really?
The conscious rappers.
Bambaataa?
Bambaataa's page got him holding up 2 goat horns. I went to the Zulu Nation meeting, and I'm sorry if I offend anybody in here, but I got to tell the truth. I went to a Zulu Nation meeting in June of, a few months ago in the Bronx. And all them guys was doing this in every picture they took. I'm going to put it on camera so nobody can't say that I'm talking mess. I asked Black Dot, because I'm a contemporary of his. I asked Black Dot, why is Bam holding up 2 gold horns on his page on Facebook? You can go right there on your phone right now if you want to see it. And he told me that because he's saying that it means rock on. I've heard Africa Bambaataa speak 1,000 times. There's no way in the world he don't know what that means. Right. All of them are a part of it. They've been rewarded with having summer stage all over New York City and doing the events, and they're getting money now. I remember reading an article years ago in the Daily News that said that what is the Zulu Nation? Is it an organization, a religion, or a cult? In order to be recognized as a world religion in this day and age, and I got this from Brother Dr. Phil Valentine, you have to have a charter under the Vatican. I don't care what you call it. In order to it to be recognized as a 501(c)(3) nonprofit organization where you can spend non-tax dollars and so on and so forth, you have to have a charter under the Vatican to be recognized. Otherwise, you're a gang, organization, something, whatever. Yeah, all right, they're over there doing what they do. Remember, this is a worldwide organization. It's the universal world of the Zulus. So it's an order. Okay, we move on. Not much time, but I'm going to just briefly go into Michael Jackson. We got to get into Michael Jackson a little bit because he was probably the most important person. There's so much information on Mike that I'm not going to go in too much on Mike. But Mike basically, I don't know if y'all remember about late 2010, Randy Quaid, who's an actor, a white guy. Yeah. He played in some decent movies, maybe about 20, 30 years ago. But Randy Quaid was accusing his handlers, who were all Jewish men, he had a house and he thought that he sold it, but they didn't. They was making income off the house, but he didn't know for like 20 years. So he started charging them he went to the bank that owned the house because one day he got a letter that wasn't supposed to come to him. It came out the blue. So somebody who's supposed to take care of that probably didn't go to work that day. One of them type of things. So he got it, he's reading it, so he took it to his lawyer, they said they take care of it. But then he went to the bank to find out what was going on with the house. Now this is a rich, influential man, he's an actor, he's rich, he might not be mega rich, but he ain't broke, And he went to the bank and the bank manager refused to give him any information. This thing is still in his name. So he started doing investigations. And the point I'm making with talking about him was, these are the very same people who handled Michael Jackson. The very same people. I got the letter in the book. Word for word from a website. I'm not finding stuff like that. I have time to do this because I want to teach the youth. And I invited a lot more youth, but y'all can relay the message. I want to teach the youth. In order to not get into that, you can't want what they got. You might need a car. What you need a Bentley for? You might need a house. What you need to live in some exclusive place where they doing devil worships in some place in Jersey or in the mountains where you've never been before. Exactly. So you can't want what they have. So, okay, and then that's how I conclude the book pretty much with basically saying that you can't want what they have. You can't be greedy. You know what I'm saying? I love guys like Immortal Technique. I'm sure some of y'all heard of him. Immortal Technique is gangster. There's guys out there doing real hip-hop. So I don't want anybody labeling. If you're listening to the radio and you say hip-hop is whack, it's because you whack because you're not looking for better hip-hop. You might like George Benson, but I might like Wes Montgomery. Wes Montgomery ain't playing an old top 40 station just anywhere. A real hip-hopper today is in his mid to late 50s. Like I said, anybody in here who's over 60 who has children, their children grew up in the hip-hop era. The hip-hop era is still here because hip-hop is us and hip-hop is forever because we forever. It ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't like a lot of the stuff the young people are playing too, but I have to understand that my moms didn't like me listening to Public Enemy because they was cursing. and it's loud, and that's not what we listen to, and turn it off. Every generation generates a new attitude. You ain't supposed to like music that's appealing to people 20 years younger than you. They ain't supposed to like yours. Oh, that's my dad's music. That's my mom's music. I remember when Whitney Houston died, and I was telling the dude, he's like, oh, that's my mom's music. I'm like, damn, you calling me old. Who didn't love Whitney Houston? Even with the TV show, he still loved her. You know, she done made a lot of babies in here. So, okay, so I was going to post some pictures, but we're not going to get into that. I'm going to run through for about a few minutes, and then we're going to take questions and answers. So I hope y'all got some good ones ready. My blog, let me get that information out. If you got a pen or you put it in your phone or whatever, the name of it is www.blak, B-L-A-C-K, 2, number 2, Africa, A-F-R-I-K-A, .blogspot.com. Okay, I'm saying it again real slow. www.blak, B-L-A-C-K, the regular way to spell black, number 2, Africa, A-F-R-I-K-A, .blogspot.com. Alright? Basically, I pretty much covered all we needed to cover. I would tell anybody here who's producing music of all ages, by the way, hip-hop ain't no, I'm glad the sister agreed to come up here and represent, because I hear a lot of times that people be talking about this, oh, you 50-something, you shouldn't be rapping no more. You know how stupid you sound? Yeah, Abi O'Doon, the sister, thank you. You know, Abi O'Doon is still doing his thing. Abi O'Doon, I know him personally, by the way. He got to be at least in his mid-70s. He was a man in the 60s. Come on. He was a man already at that time. He was young, but he was a man. You know what I'm saying? So who are you to start saying that? You know, now it's different if you see a guy at 50, 55, yeah, I'm going to get down with Def Jam. You might just do it because you love it. If I hear something and I don't know who the person is or how they look, they could be white. I'm just enjoying the song for now. Oh, they white? Damn, I might have not to play this too much right now. You can't deny what you like. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is that, you know, we got to like represent this thing right. And if you don't, now this is not also an agenda to get people who don't listen to hip hop to listen to hip hop. I'm trying to get y'all to understand what we're talking about. Because that's how we convey the message. Maybe in the 60s and early 70s, it was King, Malcolm X, and this is how the message came out. Now the dudes coming to you is, you know, stepping and saying, what up, son? You know what I'm saying? It don't mean that they don't have nothing to say. But I'm not following anybody in the mainstream media anymore because they all in and they all have a job to control you through their bosses. And don't get fooled by the conscious rap, because I brought that up a few minutes ago. They have something called controlled opposition, where they tell you to make inflammatory statements and all kind of things that make you look like you're really doing something, but you're not, because they're telling you to do it because they told you to do it. Exactly. What about Talib? Talib has said some things that I have questions about, but I like him as far as who he is as a content and the person that he is. If he got really tossed on the floor and guns thrown at him and all in his face, you know what I'm saying? I can't deny that. But that's what happens when you go to, this is real. This is not a game. You know, what happens when that comes to New York? Because the next young black man who get killed under some crazy circumstances is going to be people already have the template. Do we have the nerve and guts though? That's a whole nother story. A lot of dudes talk loud when they find out it's the police. I don't be saying nothing. For what? I know what I'm going to do. I don't know what you going to do, I don't know what anybody going to do, but I know what I'm going to do. You know? Let me just finish off. I see Sister Keisha looking at me like it's time to go. I just want to mention a few things. I wrote an article recently called Training Day, you know, and it basically was about what's going on now and how these police is trained. One of the most nerve and galling things that I heard said during the Eric Garner situation was that Bratton was going to send these police to training in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles.
Do y'all remember that? I mean, am I making this up? Who remembers that? You sending them cross country to train with the police force you just came with. You giving them niggas a vacation. What they gonna do? How we gonna note that? How do we account the taxpayers is paying for that? They ain't coming out no PBA fund. What's up with that? Okay, so I just figured I had to mention stuff like that. Yeah, I had the picture I was going to show y'all of the lady Marlene Pinnock, the one with the cop was beating the dog shit out of her on the highway, like beating her like she stole his gun. Like, wow. Yeah, he was trying to kill her, and that's exactly what she said. Okay, I had a picture of The World is a Hot Spot, and it had a real funny picture of some white kid saying, "Devil killed them all." So I just want to let y'all know I'm giving y'all visuals. Okay, I had another article named Problems and Solutions, and it had a guy named Tech Nine. He's a great MC, I love him. But, you know, just to let y'all know, it's not always people in the mainstream record labels or in the mainstream movies or whatever. He's also holding up a Baphomet. So, you know, it is what it is. Q-Tip is doing it. I mean, anybody in Zulu Nation that has a rank is going to be in it. So, you know, I've tried to do stuff with them before and I never get callbacks from them, and now I know why. So I'm putting it on air so everybody can hear it, because I got a message. My books are great. I write all the time on my blog, and everybody who knows me, I ain't say everybody like me. You know what I'm saying? At least tell me that, you know, it's cool. So, okay, we just talking about, you know, exposing stuff and stuff like that. Don't let white people take hip-hop, because, you know, everybody always want to say, oh, it's theirs. And no, it ain't. You gave it to them. That's why they control it. You sold out when you went and got that deal for $250,000, and when the end of the day come, you owe them $500,000. They said Michael Jackson was broke when he died. Michael Jackson, bro? You own half of Sony Records and the publishing of the Beatles. Forget about everybody else. Forget about everybody else. Come on. Come on. All right, Problems and Solutions. Yeah, you know, lately, I mean, last year, the nerve and gall of the Emmys, I mean, we already know what they are. Nicki Minaj issued in Iggy Azalea.
Who?
The white girl with the big butt that everybody fancy. Right.
She did what?
Nicki Minaj made the lane for her to come.
Who to come?
For Iggy Azalea. She's a white rapper. Yeah, if you're not up on her, you know, just look her up online. Seriously. But the name of the game today is for a black person to pimp a white person. So you got Dr. Dre and Eminem.
All right.
You got Akon and Lady Gaga. You got Usher and... Okay. Should we go on? There's a few more. I ain't talking small fry people. I'm talking household names again. All right. Just get the point. All right. I have a movie on my blog. It's called The Founding Fathers, and it's a very interesting documentary on other history that doesn't include the Bronx starting hip-hop. But the reason why it did start in the Bronx, and I'm going to big the Bronx up because everybody loved to diss the Bronx. But the reason why, and thank you, sis. The reason why it started in the Bronx is because Africa Bambaataa, Kool Herc said, we're going to say these are the 4 elements of the culture that represent it. And today is, right here is the 5th one, which is the knowledge. Okay. And the last thing I got, that Founding Fathers movie is on my blog, May 15th of this year. And there's another one that if you're really into hip hop, you need to watch this one. The name of it is Hip Hop, White Supremacy, and Capitalism. And that was April 4th of this year. So go on my blog, and they have dates on the side. You just go to the month, and then you scroll down until you get to that article. I'm the Blak Smith. I'm done. I see Keisha looking at me like, you better get off that stage right now. Okay? And I'll answer some questions if she allows it. If not, peace.
Good.
Thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
I wasn't giving you no notes. I just looked so I can concentrate people saying. 3 questions only. Not a statement, not a journal, and ask you a question of Mr. Blak Smith.
Hello, sis. How are you today?
Good evening. Thank you
What's your name?
for all this. My name is Amina.
Amina.
Also known as Anna Maria Thomas,
Amina.
but Amina.
I got you.
This was fabulous. My question, this is scary to me. And I wonder, with you bringing all of this, do you fear something? I mean, you talk about all these people who have found themselves dead because they did something wrong.
Right.
And by your bringing this information, which we need to know, how are you safe? And the second thing is, how do we go against this? How do we fight? Yeah. Because it's scary to me.
Okay, well, I got my ancestors protecting me, number one. Number two, I got UAM protecting me. And when that failed, I got Keisha protecting me. Had to put out there. Your second question, what's the second question, just real quick? How do we fight that? What I can do for anybody, great question. What I can do for anybody who wants to get with me is tell you how to implement a rites of passage program using hip hop. And you cover it with all of the 9 people activities that I started with. Meaning, you probably have a class on economics. And then after the class, if somebody got, it's real easy today to make beats because everybody got laptops and computers at home. And these kids know how to do everything. We don't know nothing about computers like that. You know, they grew up with it, you know what I'm saying? We just use it, you know what I'm saying? But if there's a kid that knows how to make beats, there's a kid that knows how to rhyme, there's a kid that knows how to dance, and there's a kid that knows how to do graffiti. And then there's kids who know how to produce it. And then there's kids who know how to make videos. And you start them doing this. And they don't have to be out here robbing and stealing and getting in trouble and getting into the position where they're around police for the police to mess with them if they're not doing nothing. You feel me? And then it'll just keep repeating itself. But you need to know how to do it because you got to talk to them like, I got to stay current with shit I don't even like because I got to know what they talking about. And that's why I invited mostly them tonight because we talking to them and not talking with them. And we got to stop doing that. And that's why we miss a lot of them.
Right.
You know?
That's right.
Right.
Hi, I enjoyed your presentation.
Your name?
My name is Carolyn Jenkins. I'm with the Black Star News and with Guerrilla Journalism.
Okay.
I just have one thing I want to ask. I've always admired the satirical comedy of Chris Rock, and I noticed you didn't mention his name at all. Could you give me a few comments on your thinking regarding Chris?
I like Chris Rock, and you might know him because he grew up not far from here. So I don't have any fear about talking about anybody. As far as Chris Rock, I never really did an investigation on him because I think, I'm pretty sure he's in, but he plays the line so well that you don't know.
You don't know for sure then.
I've never, to my knowledge, seen him holding up the bill. That's a sure sign. If you're taking a picture, you're doing that. Almost everybody has done that. When you take that picture, you're doing this, the hand sign. The hand sign is the way they talk to each other. The diamond that I told you about, or the pyramid, whatever you want to call it, that Jay-Z holds up. They all, the 3 6s, I already explained those. They all do that, most of them. I've never seen him do that, so I'm not going to go out and say he is. But he probably is because he's attained the status of stardom. And I said household names are pretty much in. He's in, but you know,
But you can't prove it.
right. There are people who fight it, but they in. I believe Nas fights it. Lauryn Hill ain't in.
She's not?
No,
She's not paying taxes, man.
no, it ain't got nothing to do with that. They get you those 3 ways. I already told you that. The taxes, some petty crime, you know what I'm saying, that anybody else would get caught, you might do a few days in jail, pay a fine, get the hell out of here. Or through the law, or kill you, or let you just disappear. You know? Look at all these rappers that came out in the last 2-3 years. Trinidad James just got dropped from his deal. That's for my young people. And he went on Twitter saying don't ask him for money because he ain't got none. Exactly. Because those record deals are loans. There's no reason for anybody in here should be in the military or getting a record deal. There's no reason in the world. Start in your living room. Invite your family over. Everybody got to pay $1. I don't care what you do. You got to pay $1 to get in here. You all got jobs. I know who working, who ain't working. I know who getting unemployment, who ain't getting nothing. I know who getting a disability check. Is that your question?
Okay, one more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have copies of the book you were reading from? Do you have copies with you?
Yeah, I have a few copies. And anybody that want to get with me, I'm not running out of here. So, you know, just get at me when you see me after it's over.
Thank you.
Thank you, sister. We'll talk about that when you come up.
I was saying, like the 360 deal,
Don't put it back. Where everybody can hear it.
She's talking about for time we have. We can't let you get up on the mic. Says, yeah, but 360 deals. I'm going to address it real quick, because that needs to be addressed. If you want to get in the music industry specifically, they have a thing called 360 deal. What it means basically is they get a piece of everything you do. If you fart and get fined for it, they want a piece of it. You pay $75 for farting in the street, they want $750. Pay up, nigga, pay up. And they coming for it. So that's what that's about. Sis, go ahead.
My question was for the black hip-hop stations that are putting out a lot of the music that have all the subliminals and have the kids doing all these ridiculous things and
Right.
you know, carrying themselves in these different ways. Are they in as well, and you know, would they really change? Because they always say like, oh, call up if you want us to play this music, we'll play it. But I feel like that's not true, because most of them who are behind the scenes, they're black. So if you wanted to play better music for black people, you would. So my question is really, you know, are they part of the system, and you know, is it possible to change them and get them to play better music?
Okay, again, 9 people activities. Y'all remember them? Okay. Which one do we control? That's your answer. Simple. We don't control it. Because almost every medium you use to communicate, the white man sold it to you. Who owns most of the media? The Jews was the ones that kept African Americans from going back to Africa, because he said, we're going to make money off these niggas. So you still a slavery, you just a dancing jigaboo. Listen to a song called These Are Our Heroes by Nas.
Yes, sir.
These Are Our Heroes by Nas. Listen to another song called Nature of the Threat by Rascals. It's a history lesson. It's 8 minutes long, and it covers pretty much the time Chancellor Williams spoke about in destruction of black civilization. This is not a game. There are people out there putting down serious stuff. I said Immortal Technique. If you want to get into hip-hop and at least hear what some people are doing, you need to listen to some of these guys, because they're definitely like, wow. I never knew stuff out there was like that. I already said, if you're only listening to the radio and saying hip-hop sucks, then you suck, because you ain't doing nothing to find alternatives. You're just trying to let the mainstream media feed you that garbage.
So when you say they ain't going to get you, you mean the government, right?
No, I mean the powers. So the Illuminati, the New World Order, the Masons, not all Masons. Those Masons. You know, the synagogue of Satan.
What about the college fraternity?
All the same thing. Boule is nothing but helpers of the kings. That's all it means. We ain't kings to them. So who's king? All of them. They all got shaped in Yale and then exported to Prince Hall in Barbados.
What about the churches, the preachers that have these mega churches?
All of them. T.D. Jakes, T.D. Snakes. Creflo $50. Bitch Up Eddie was long. Okay, I think my time was done. Anybody got a comment or anything before I go? All right. One more. Hold up, y'all. Say again. yes, my sister asked me, I was at Dr. John Henry Clark's house last week, and his sister asked me to mention. Oh, okay. The sister asked me to mention that Dr. John Henry Clark had a event last week, Sunday, that was concerning pretty much the same topic here in a different way, though, about will African history help keep our young boys out of the clutches of the law enforcement and courts and the whole prison industrial complex. So yeah, and like I said, through the proper rites of passage programs, I read most of the major books that we need to know about, how to do these things and stuff like that. It can be done. Get with me. I'm the Blak Smith, UAM, and y'all, peace, thank you.
I wanted y'all to hear him like Black Dot and Professor Griff, because we have to know how to tap into our babies. And hip-hop, when he says hip-hop is just not music, it's also acting. If you look on YouTube, you'll see a 60-minute interview with Denzel Washington where he said it takes him months to get out of character because he's that much into the trance that he can't get out. And he thanks his wife, Pauletta, for helping him maintain himself as a man because it's that deep. And one of the things I learned with working with the Freedom Retreat, see, I'm an observer. I watch first and then I know how to move. But Systematics didn't know what it is that I can do to help teach our children. And I said, well, we'll go in the woods and I'll show you. You have to be able to tap into this generation. This is one of the reasons why we're so divided. So when he talks about them having handlers, they are. I have a relative, a cousin, not a distant cousin, but a cousin, who is a star of a reality show. And if I have him up here to tell you the sexual rituals that some of the people that you know are involved in, you would be so puzzled and so amazed. And I'm not just talking just regular hip-hop generation folks. No, I'm talking about B.B. King and others. He can tell you some stories where he's walked into rooms and mattresses are full of blood. You have no idea. These people study our culture. They are at every program and every event you go to. They have people that they call street teams where they go out to stores, just look like regular shoppers, look like you and me, just to watch your movements, watch what you buy. This is a 24/7 business to them. We've always been a cash cow. This is one of the reasons why we suffer globally. We're just not on the bottom here, we're on the bottom all over the globe. And there's a reason for that. There's a lot of things that are happening, especially with our babies. I keep telling y'all, the first 2 nights at the Freedom Retreat, it's like watching a heroin addict come off drugs. For new retreaters who haven't been up there before. When they don't have television and they don't have radio and they don't have cell phones and they don't have PSPs and they can't text and they can't do anything. It's a drug that they come off of. It's very serious. So I want you to understand from their perspective, because they're doing work out on the streets and y'all don't even know who these people are, just like a lot of people don't know who Mike Graves is. A lot of people don't know who Ultimatics is. But there are mediums where we can push our own agenda. We just have to know how to grasp it, take hold of it, and control it. And it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do. Somebody asked him, where's his sister at? Barbara, where you at? And she said that she wanted to know if he had any fear. No.
more you tell, the better off you are. The more out in public you are, the better off you are. Because you have a light on you. And a light is something that they do not want. I had a little cousin of mine who I really had to put my hands on her neck to break her out of this particular trance. Just Bobby Brown said it in his interview, his Behind the Music, that when they put on certain music, his body just moves, it gyrates in a way that he can't control himself. He don't know why he does it, but he does it. So you wonder why people behave the way they are. I think, me and Mike had a conversation, I think everybody is nuts. I think everybody, more than 90% of y'all is crazy. What's controlling you? What have you gone through in your life that's controlling you? Especially that makes you stagnant and not want to fight against the system that's fighting against you. It's more than that too, Ms. Elsie. You're right. You're absolutely right. Why I can't put that piece of fried chicken down? Why? What's wrong? What's wrong? I know it's going to kill me. So the fight is real. And I like my big brother because I learned from Mike. I learned a lot from him. And he says we have to stop saying we're at war. That it's a slaughter going on. Because we're not fighting back. And what Blak Smith and Black Dot and Professor Griff, and I can't wait to have the Irritated Genie here in November. But when he talk about revealing some of your great scholars, Irritated Genie gonna tell on them. When he comes in here, that's pushing this homosexual agenda. And I wish Ray Ray was here, because Ray Ray will tell you what I'm talking about. But they can't call him a liar. They can't say he's a liar with proof. Right? And so just keep fighting. Just keep putting your best foot forward. That's how we win. When you stop saying, I'm not going to fight anymore, or I don't care anymore, you've already given the victory to them. All right? All right? All right? I know my sister Teresa, she be fighting with me. I mean, she a social media demon. We be going hard. And believe it or not, and she can tell you, she can attest, that people will come back and say, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me that. I didn't know. I didn't know. So we have to use the mediums that we have. And sister, thank you. And the brother for coming back. Yeah, you with the pink and white stripe. I forgot your name. I apologize for that. But I remembered you in our conversations. And so, thank you for keep coming back. Because this is how we win. All right. That's Mama Bryson? Uh-oh. Papa better be nice to me today. Because I will snitch real quick. Look, she said, that's right. Mama Bryson. I mean, to see this sister, this queen mother, I ain't going to tell her age. But she said, no, don't do that. I won't do it. But he trying to tell people business, see? But I love Pop Bryson. You raised a good son. He's a good son. And you can be proud of that. Oh yeah, Mike Graves is coming back. The first Wednesday in October to finish the legacy of struggle that he started. And we sold out of his DVD in Philly. Quick. We sold out quick. And while we were selling the DVDs, I was pushing community copy. I heard you today, Veronica, on You Tree Sleeves. Keep calling into these shows. Keep doing that. Keep letting people know. That's how we break this mechanism. You can't be afraid. Oh, they ain't not going to listen to me. Miss Maddox will tell you I had a group of teenagers. Didn't want me to leave. You just keep doing what you're doing. Right, Jonathan? He know my heart, so he know the stock I come from. So, y'all better not mess with me. My Aunt Marie is gangster. I'm just saying. Let us all stand and join hands. One of the greatest teachers of this 21st century is Dr. Imhotep Craig. He has figured out how to use hip-hop to teach millions online. Now, I get about 4 emails from Maddox a day, but the RBG Street Scholar sends me at least 100 per day. He has mastered and figured this thing out, and it's working. Come on, T. This is my big sister. They locked me up. She going with me. We all going together, right, Sister Leah? How's Aunt Barbara? Tell her I said hello. All right. Brother Leonard said to let you know that you can call Governor Cuomo's office and demand a special prosecutor for the Eric Garner case, and that number is 518-474-8390. You can go online and get that number. Stop running away from the internet, please, because y'all be taking me in a time capsule sometime. I can't. I gotta go. I'm straight. I'm moving too fast. I'm moving real fast. Mike Graves and Michael Lloyd trying to get me to run for office.
Why not?
If I do, it's got to be right.
All right.
If I do, look out, because I'm telling on everybody. I'm trying to match Adam Clayton Powell with legislation. So that's where I'm coming at. You know, and my daddy was the #1 hustler. Go to Fort Greene and ask about sweets. They'll tell you. So I come from good stock. I will hustle my legislation. But you could have been anywhere this evening.
Yes, indeed.
Anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Brother Maddox, Ramsey and his wife,
Yes.
Blak Smith,
Yes.
Miss Maddox, none of them called you here at all. Because if that's the case, you'll be here every week. No. In this time, your great-great-grandmother called you here and said there's a revolution that's taking place. Fight for me. Remember me. Fight. Always remember who and what we are. We are an African people.
We're an African people.
Robbed of our homeland.
Robbed of our homeland.
Robbed of our names.
Robbed of our names.
Our languages.
Our languages.
Our cultures. Our religions. Our womanhood. Our manhood. Our brotherhood. Our sisterhood. Our brotherhood. Our motherhood. Our fatherhood. Our nationhood. And our self-respect. But we shall rise, never to fall again. Oh, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. No justice. No peace. Travel safe. See you next week. The author of Why Our Children Hate Us, Mr. Eric Grimes, will be here next Wednesday. Stop by the table and get that conscious hip hop. Get them oldie mixes that Brother Ty got at the table.
Second.